Welcome you to Davis Diamond here on the campus of Texas A&M University as the 15th ranked Fighting Texas Aggies are set to play host to the Bearcats of Sam Houston. Texas A&M 22-9 on the year, 5-1 in SEC play. The Bearcats 21-14. They're in third place in Conference USA at 6-3. Aggies taking the field here on a beautiful evening here at Davis Diamond, a little cooler than we had this weekend. Let's give you the starters first for the visiting Bearcats. Coach McGarrett Balish, Sophia Lundstrom will lead it off in center field. Bella Perez is your DP. Veronica Harrison, one of the top hitters in the country, is at first base. Peyton Helmley will catch. Trisha Yuratsky is playing third base and batting fifth. Sydney Prohoda is the right fielder. She'll hit sixth. Kyla Heine's in left. She'll bat seventh. Meg Morgan Holiday, the shortstop, will bat eighth. And Kinsey Hobbs, second baseman, will bat ninth. Aggies defensively will be Paisley Allen in left, Kelsey Matheson center, Frankie Brogel in right, Kennedy Powell, KK DeMint, Talon Edwards, Maya Perez around the infield, Ariel Kowalewski behind the plate, and in the circle for the Aggies, the senior out of Dayton, Texas, it is Grace Sparks. Sparks on the year, 2-0, with 2.21 ERA. This is her 8th appearance and 4th start of the season. 19 innings of work, 21 hits, 7 runs, 4 walks, and 17 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .263 against Grace. We last saw her on Monday night, so a week ago yesterday. 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, 1 walk against LSU in the Aggies 7-2 series finale loss. Her last start came in San Marcos a couple of Fridays ago against Tarleton State. 4 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Picked up the victory. Her other victory this year against UC San Diego, that was out in Palm Springs. Went 6 1/3 in that one, 5 hits, 2 runs. And obviously, with what's coming up this weekend, the Aggies and Tricia Ford need some length out of their pitchers in this game today. All right, ready to go here. The Bearcats stepping in. Sophia Lundstrom, center fielder, freshman out of Richmond. The first pitch is lined through the right side for a base hit. First pitch swinging 74 miles an hour off the bat. And just like that, the Bearcats get the first runner on. We told you this team can hit, folks. They come in with a .290-16 batting average, 37 home runs, and 51 doubles. For Aggie fans who've watched us play all year, the Aggies 51 doubles and 43 home runs. So it kind of compares the power numbers there for you. So runner at first, here's Bella Perez, a designated player for the Bearcats, junior right-handed hitter. And the first pitch is a drop ball, misses low for ball 1 from Grace Sparks. Bella Perez, .370 team batting average, 6 home runs, 31 runs driven in. And the 31 RBI ranks second on the team. Next pitch, ground ball left side, that's through for a base hit past the diving KK DeMint. So 2 hard hit balls off the bat. That was 74 miles an hour off the bat. So again, if you're not familiar with the exit speeds we talked to you about, anything the coaches say, really 65 and higher is hit well, but 70 and above is very well struck, and those first 2 do right there. And this brings up the very dangerous Veronica Harrison. Junior out of Alvin, Lamar transfer. Veronica on the year, .344 batting average, 13 home runs, folks, 33 runs driven in. Ranks in the top 15 in the country in home runs. First pitch well high above Harrison for ball 1. We are just underway. We are 4 pitches into the game, and the Bearcats have 2 on and nobody out. And that's a strike called on the inside corner. That is Brian Crochet by the way, behind home plate. Bubba Ewald is your first base umpire. Marshall Niederhofer at third. Let's look at Brian. 1-1. Grounded at third. KP picks, throws to second for 1, trying to turn 2. They got it. 5-4-3 double play. 6th of the season for the Aggies. They needed that in the worst way. 2 outs here in the first. Not out of the woods yet. Aggies have not turned many double plays this season. It's not that they've missed chances. They just honestly haven't had a lot of them. So now Lundstrom's at third with 2 outs. Here's Peyton Helmley, the catcher. Runs a curve off the plate for ball 1. Helmley, a right-handed hitter, a freshman out of Mont Bellevue. .320 batting average on the year, starting her 19th game. Has 5 homers and 12 runs driven in. Another one bends off the plate outside, 2-0. No score here in the top of the first inning. The Aggies and the Sam Houston Bearcats. 2-0. Check swing fouled off the net on the right side. Talking with Trisha Ford before the game. And she knows how good this Sam Houston team is. They're extremely well coached. And as we told you, they can hit. And she said, hey, they gave us everything we wanted in the fall. I want to say it was a 3-0 game or maybe 2, something like that. But Sam Houston gave A&M everything they wanted in the fall in an exhibition. That's outside, 3-1. Only ready on the 3-1 offering. In the air to left center field. Paisley Allen with a long run into the gap. Makes the running catch just as she crosses onto the track in left center field. That is a loud out, number 3. So Grace Sparks and the Aggies flirt with danger, but they escape it unscathed, and we will head to the bottom of the first inning. Texas A&M coming to bat here at Davis Diamond. Second softball from Learfield.
They're also located on the very side of the complex. Popcorn, kind of truck and treats, and nice cold exercise. Reminders to increase the third spot registered at the United Park Access. For emergency, you have to measure your uniform officer orders. You can find the first aid located on the third side of the complex.
'Welcome back to Davis Diamond, Texas A&M Sam Houston midweek game for your fighting Texas Aggies, and they will turn in this lineup. It's familiar if you've watched this. Kennedy Powell, Talon Edwards, Maya Perez, Michaela Wark, Ariel Kowalewski, KK DeMent, Elsie Mathis, Paisley Allen, Frankie Brajel. They'll face Cassie Marshall, left-hander for the Bearcats, a freshman out of Rockwall Heath High School. Limited action this year for Marshall. This is only her 5th appearance. It's her first start. No record, 6.3 ERA, 3 1/3, 9 hits, 4 runs, 5 walks. Opponents hitting .474 against her. 2 of the games she has pitched, though, folks, were at Oklahoma. So that team is far and away the best hitting team in the country. So we'll see if the Aggies can attack her today. The first pitch is outside at 60 miles an hour. To Kennedy Powell is the Aggies' senior leader, the leadoff hitter, the third baseman out of Conroe. .430 batting average on the year with a homer and 17 runs driven in. Floats a changeup in at 52 miles an hour, called a strike. And that's what Cassie Marshall will do. She will mix 4 pitches, different speeds there, and will sit in the upper 50s with her hard stuff. 1-1. AP flashes bunt. That's taken high. KP leads the team in runs with 40, leads the team in hits with 43, and 16 stolen bases. Two-one, push bunt, and a diving attempt behind the plate by the catcher Helmley, who almost held on to that one. That was a heck of an effort there as it spun backwards up in the air, and then she dove towards the left-handed batter's box, and it just popped out of her glove. That's strike 2. 2-2 count. Third baseman Urotsky backs up a little bit with the 2-strike count. That comes in and hits KP on the back of her thigh. She'll trot down to first base. Gives a little point to Aggie third base coach Jeff Harger, who just shook his head. That will extend her reach base streak to 32 every single game this season. So leadoff batter on for the Aggies and speed. Helmley, the catcher, this year has only seen 3 attempts against her, all successful in stolen bases. We'll see if the Aggies force the issue early. Here is Talon Edwards. Aggies senior transfer second baseman. First pitch outside and low. 1 ball, no strikes. The count. Talon on the year is hitting .358. She started every game for the Aggies. 3 homers, 23 runs driven in. It's taken high and out of the zone. 2 balls and no strikes to Talon. A&M is a team hitting .349. That is 5th in the SEC and 17th nationally. Runners going, pitches a strike, throw down, skips in, and sliding in safe is Kennedy Powell with her 17th stolen base of the year. That's 42 in a row for her. I'll tell you what, if this ball can be picked by the shortstop Holiday, they're going to get her more than likely, but tough throw in, and KP gets the steal. 2-1 now the count to Talon with a runner at second. There's a changeup strike called down the pipe. That'll even up the count. We've seen the Aggies do this year a lot. They force the issue on the base paths. 41st stolen base as a team this year, and just 30, game number 32. Slap foul. Counts even at 2. No score, bottom of the first. Bearcats have the outfield extremely deep against Talon Edwards. 2-2 changeup, hits it well. Right center field, Talon Edwards back to the fence, and is gone. Under the flags in right center field, Talon Edwards 4th of the season, and the Aggies strike first. Mislocation for Marshall. You see there, center cut, and Talon did not miss the mistake. The veteran hitter drives that thing out over the fence in right center. 229 feet off the bat. So A&M strikes first. The early lead, that is the 44th home run of the year for the Aggies. First pitch to Maya is fouled off for strike 1. Maya, the SEC Player of the Week last week, .481 team batting average, 12 homers, 37 runs driven in the team. Batting average and homers lead the team. She also leads the team with 28 walks. And drives that one deep center field, way, way, way out of here. See the smile on Maya Perez's face. That had to feel good. She has not seen many strikes in the last 2 weeks. Didn't miss that one. Garrett Valish out to talk to his pitcher. How about 268 feet off the bat at 78 miles an hour? Again, a mistake pitch there, and Maya did not miss it. That thing sailed well out to dead center field. Very quickly hit the West Campus Player Development Center after a couple of bounces. So hit by pitch, home run, and the Aggies have jumped on Sam Houston. Garrett Valish talking with his freshman pitcher Marshall and his catcher Helmley, also a freshman. Not unfamiliar for this Bearcat team to play a team of this caliber on the road, as they have already played in Norman against number 2 Oklahoma. So it's not like the atmosphere or the big stadium is new. It's just a couple of mistake pitches, and the Aggie hitters have come locked in today. They didn't miss either of those. 13th homer of the year for Maya Perez. That'll bring up Michaela Ward, the Aggies' designated player. First pitch to the senior. Taken outside for a ball. She's the first right-hander in the Texas A&M lineup. Mick, 31st start of the year, .322 team batting average, 12 home runs, and leads the team with 43 runs driven in. Changeup misses low, 2-0. Aggies up 3-0. out of the zone. 3-0 the count now to Michaela Wark. So the Aggies breaking out the big bats very quickly here in this one. Sam Houston began the game with 2 hard-hit ground balls, but they were not able to push a run home, and the Aggies have punched very hard back in this inning. Ball 4 as that one sails outside and low. So hit by pitch, home run, and now a walk. Bearcats obviously with action in the bullpen. Looks like 22 Carly Bubella in the pen for Sam. First pitch bounces into Ariel Kowalewski, the Aggies catcher. The sophomore is hitting .387 on the year. That is 3rd on the team behind Maya and KP. 4 homers, 21 runs driven in, and a team-high 12 doubles. That one's outside, 2-0. Marshall's having a really hard time kind of hitting the fringe of the strike zone. I don't think she's being squeezed by Brian Crochet. She's just missing by a couple of balls off. And when she comes over, she's right over the middle of the white. There's a good pitch there. That catches the bottom of the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike to Ariel Kowalewski. That one's cued up the third base line. It will spin foul. That ball just spins up the chalk and then starts to roll towards the Aggie dugout. So that'll even the count at 2-2. Still nobody out here in the bottom of inning number 1. That one's ripped by AK. Deep right field. They are back. They're looking up. That one is gone. Third home run of the inning. 5th of the season for AK. 5-0 Aggies. Kowalewski, inner half at the belt. Just got too much of the plate. She left the park. So the Aggies with 3 home runs in this first inning. Still nobody out. 239 feet on that one. Here is KK Dement. Sophomore shortstop takes the first pitch outside and high for a ball. KK on the year, a .292 hitter, 5 home runs, 26 runs driven in. Spins in a changeup on the outside corner for a strike. Aggies in the sweep over the weekend against Kentucky hit .400 as a team, powering them to that 3-game sweep over the Wildcats and a 5-1 start in SEC play. That pitch is high to KK, 2-1. A&M won the opener 10-2 in 6 innings, although a lot of the runs came in that one late. 7-1 win on Saturday, and then had to rally from behind on Sunday, scoring 7 runs in the 6th to win that one 9-6. That's outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. And if you're just checking in with us, hit by pitch to KP, 2-run homer, Talon Edwards, homer Maya Perez, walk to Michaela Wark. 2-run homer by Ariel Kowalewski. That is a ball. Freshman Marshall just cannot find a way to get an out, and that's going to be it for her. Pitching change for the Bearcats here in the bottom of the first. The Aggies all over Sam Houston early in this one. 5-0 our score.
Now in the circle for Sam Houston, Grand Commissioner 22, Carly Bubella.
New pitcher for the Bearcats is Carly Bubella, a freshman out of El Campo. Bubella on the year, 1-1 with a 4.72 ERA. 12th appearance of the season, 26 2/3 innings, 27 hits, 25 runs, 13 walks, and 9 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .252 against Bubella. The Aggies, nobody out in this one. They'll send Kelsey Mathis to the plate. Mathis, a sophomore out of Waco, had a very nice weekend against Kentucky. .333 hitter on the year, 3 homers and 13 runs driven in, and the first pitch from the right-handers taken down for a ball. Kelsey led the team in batting average against Kentucky. 5 hits, 3 runs scored. Also drew a walk. Looked really good at the plate. That's high. 2-0. And honestly, Kelsey really, since she kind of took over that center field starting center field spot, she has done a really nice job of letting that defense kind of peel into her offense. She's looked really good at the plate. And right there, rips one to right field. Nice running catch, though, by Prahoda, who was shaded a little bit towards right center field, and she gets the first out of the inning for Sam. 1 down here in the Aggies' first inning. 5-0 lead for Texas A&M. Shaded right center there. Prahoda got over, fighting a little bit of sun. That's not an easy catch, and she makes it just above her ankles. So 1 down. Here's Paisley Allen. The sophomore takes a pitch high at 58 miles an hour. Paisley, a .241 hitter, homer, and 11 runs driven in. Has been just fantastic defensively for the Aggies in left field over the last, I'd say maybe 3 weeks, give or take. That's high, 2-0. They placed her back in left field in, I think, at the end of the Mary Nutter tournament out in California. So that's, about 3-ish weeks ago. Maybe a little bit more than that, and she's been great. 57-mile-an-hour pitch there, called strike over the plate, 2-1 the count. She has robbed 2 home runs already. 1 here at Davis Diamond, 1 at LSU over the last weekend. Chops this one to third. Short hop picked there by Yuratsky, goes to second for 1. That's all they'll get. Paisley hustling down the line. Now 2 outs here in the Texas A&M first inning. So the Aggies have batted around in the first. Here's Frankie Brogel. The sophomore out of Danbury's hitting .378 on the year. First pitch grounded hard up the middle. Nice pick by the shortstop Holiday, who was ranging to the bag and robs her of a base hit. And that'll do it for Texas A&M as she steps on second base to end the inning. But a huge start to this game for Texas A&M. You're fighting Texas Aggies. 3 home runs in the inning. They'll take a 5-0 lead into the second. Big series on tap Friday night. Cotton Holdings Lone Star Showdown. Number 1 Texas, number 15 Texas A&M. 6 o'clock on Friday night. 1 o'clock Saturday, 1 o'clock Sunday. I don't think you're going to get a ticket for it, so don't try. You can try, but I don't think you're going to find one. But give it a shot if you want to drive over. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Aggies after that will be back home next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday to host the 11th ranked Georgia Bulldogs. We'll go over some of the promotions for that later on in the game here. 6 o'clock on Thursday night, 6 o'clock on Friday night, and then 12:30 on Holy Saturday to wrap up that series in advance of Easter weekend, or of Easter. So that is our next home series. 12thman.com/softball tickets. Get your seats today. All right, Grace Sparks, just like that, has a 5-run lead. She'll get Trisha Uratsky, Sydney Prohoda, and Kyla Heine, 5, 6, and 7 in the Bearcat lineup, here to face her. Big swing and a miss on the pitch inside at the hands for strike one. Uratsky is a grad student out of Friendswood, on the year, 277 hitter, starting her 32nd game. 3 doubles, 5 home runs, 22 runs driven in. Drop ball there, swings and misses. Counts 0-2. And that's where Grace is going to see success. If she's going to have a good day in the circle, she needs to live low in the zone. She's not always going to be a big strikeout pitcher. She's looking for ground balls and let her defense do the work. But living low in the zone just like that is good as she gets a swing and a miss on the same exact pitch. 66 mile an hour with some sink. That's her first strikeout of the game. Beautiful pitch there. You can see at the very end it started to dip out of the zone. That's out number 1. We'll bring up Sydney Prohoda. The right fielder's a junior out of Willis. First pitch catches the outside corner for strike 1. Prohoda on the season is hitting 182. It's only her 4th start. 2 for 11 at the plate with 10 runs scored. Big hack swing and a miss just below the belt, and the count is 0-2. Prohoda obviously has been used a lot as a pinch runner. 6 stolen bases as well, so they're giving her some ABs here in this midweek contest against the Aggies. That one's hit into center field on a line and a long run, almost a diving catch by Kelsey Mathis. Right as she went to ground, the ball got the edge of her glove and then hit the green. That ball was smoked off the bat. That'll be a base hit to center field for Prohoda. Hung up and Kelsey dove at it and almost made the catch. Third hit of the game for Sam Houston. That'll bring up Kyla Heine, the left fielder, senior out of New Caney. That one's hit well to left field. Paisley Allen backing up, tracking, makes the catch just shy of the track. And Prohoda will have to go back to first. Allowed out number 2. Tell you what, when Sam Houston has made contact, it has been loud. That one had a lot of lift to it, and that'll bring Tricia Ford out of the dugout to talk to Grace Sparks and Ariel Kowalewski. Paisley made that look easy. Off the bat, I thought that was trouble. I thought that was down and on the track, if not maybe over the fence, but Paisley got back and made it look easy. Tricia Ford, her 4th season here in Aggie land. Let's look at Garrett Valish, his 9th season. Sam Houston's taken him to the NCAA tournaments, got himself a good squad this year. Bearcats will host Middle Tennessee this weekend in Conference USA action. Sam Houston, if you look at the standings, is right in the thick of it through 3 weekends. Jacksonville State leads the league at 8-1. Liberty 7-2 at 2nd, and then Sam's at a 3-way tie with Western Kentucky and New Mexico State at 6-3. They are right in the hunt. Long way to go, obviously, but right in the hunt in Conference USA. So 2 down. Here's Morgan Holiday, the junior out of Grandview. Takes a pitch off the plate for ball 1. She is the shortstop this evening. 264 hitter, 9 doubles, 3 homers, and 17 runs driven in. Pitches outside. Two 2-0 the count. Morgan Holiday. 5-0 Aggies. 2nd inning. Sam with a runner at first and 2 outs. There's that drop ball. Swung on and missed. 66 miles an hour. And the one that Heine hit to left, and really the one Prohoda hit too, she left it up just a little bit. And with her pitches, they tend to flatten out. If she doesn't get on top of it and have it fall off the table, it will lay very flat. There's a beautiful one there. Swung on and missed. Strike two. And if you're watching with us on the network, you can see right at the end of that pitch, it just starts to dive down. Right at the knees, it starts to work down. It's a very hard pitch to hit. And if they do make contact, they tend to just put it into the ground. 2-2. Bounces that one in, overthrew that a little bit. Counts 3-2. Payoff pitch, runner going, chop to shortstop. KK Dement will throw across the diamond and retire her at first for out number 3. So a 1-out hit is stranded there. We'll head to the bottom of the second. Texas A&M 5, Sam Houston 0.
All right, fans, let's take a look at the video board as we check out the 12th game presented by Salvaje and Visual Sauce. The Texas A&M Athletics and Hackney Traditions.
Aggie fans want to put this on your calendar. Next Thursday at 5 o'clock, we have a huge women's tennis match behind me here at the Mitchell Tennis Center. Number 3 Texas A&M, number 2 Auburn. Match it up here, 5 o'clock next Thursday. We play at 6, so come on out early, come watch a little Aggie tennis, then come over across the street and come to our game against Georgia. Free general admission for that tennis match. Pulpband.com/promotions. You can get some information on it as well. It is a huge match in this one. All right, on to the second. Texas A&M leading Sam Houston 5-0. Back to the top of the order. Kennedy Powell will lead it off, followed by Talon Edwards, Maya Perez facing Carly Bubella, second pitcher of the game. For Sam, starter Cassie Marshall did not retire a batter. 3 hits, all home runs, 5 runs allowed, along with 2 walks. Outside, ball 1 to KP. KP, a 5-game hit streak as she stands in. And 1-0 is a strike called. KP with some incredible defensive plays over the weekend to help the Aggies sweep Kentucky. 1-1 outside. This SEC race is going to be something, that's for sure. We've seen some very interesting scores through the first 3 weeks or so. Now, your Aggies have only played 2 weeks of games because they had a bye at the beginning. Grounded hard to the right side on 2 hops, and the second baseman Hobbs will throw her out 1 down. Talon Edwards, 2-run home run in the first inning to give the Aggies their first 2 runs. It was her 4th long ball of the season. And the first pitch is a strike called on the outside corner. That one bounces in. In the SEC, Texas A&M, and again, we're only through 3 weeks of the season, folks. There's only 4 teams that have had either 0 or 1 losses, and the Aggies are one of them. Texas, undefeated at 6-0. Sooners are 6-0. That bounces in. Counts 2-1. Florida is 8-1, and the Aggies are 5-1. After that, Alabama, Tennessee are the only other two teams that are above 500 in league play to this point, which is crazy. Ball 3 as Talon takes that one just off the strike zone. It's in on the hands, misses, almost got her on the elbow, but it's going to be a walk. 5-pitch walk to Talon, who's second on the team now. That's her 22nd walk of the season. The third free pass of the game issued by Bearcat pitching. They'll bring up Maya Perez. Monster home run, a solo shot in the first inning. First home run since the LSU series. Pitch bounces in for a ball. SEC in the top 25 poll. Texas #1, OU #2 or 3. Tennessee #4, Florida #5, Alabama 7, Arkansas 9. 6 of the top 10 in the SEC. That's down 2-0. Georgia's ranked 11th. Mississippi State 14th. Both those teams come here this year. Aggies at 15. LSU 20. South Carolina 24. That's hard ground ball through the right side past the diving first baseman Harrison for a base hit. Talon trying to get to third. Throw comes in and it's cut off. The Aggies with runners at the corners and 1 out here in the second. Maya 2 for 2 today. Love seeing that big old smile. Bang that through the right side. That's the 4th hit of the game for Texas A&M. And Jeff Harger going to talk to Brian Crochet, get a pinch runner at first base. Ansley Gross, the freshman, will come in and run. Ansley making her 17th appearance of the season. And happy birthday, Ansley. Runners at the corners, and Michaela Wark at the plate. Walked on 4 pitches in the first inning. First pitch down low for a ball. Taking another look at that top 25 poll that came out this morning. So we have a mound visit here for Sam. You start to see some of the non-conference teams that the Aggies have played. They're still hanging around the poll. Texas Tech, #2 in the nation. Nebraska, #6. UCLA, #8. Aggies also played Oregon, #17, Duke, #19, Oklahoma State, #21. So you can start to see all those non-conference games that the Aggies played. All those teams are still hanging around the pole. Runner is going, pitch is taken down, throw down is safe, and now Talon will come home. No one really paid attention to her. They threw all the way through. Hobbs put the tag on Gross, who was in safe, and Talon like, okay, I'm coming home. And the double steal works, and it's 6-0 Texas A&M. See here, the catcher throws through, and Talon was still waiting until the throw came through. They tried to tag the runner, and she just came on home. Which is outside to Michaela Wark, and now the count's 3 balls and no strikes. Makes a strike all the way there. A&M and this morning's RPI, the ratings index, long way to go for that. Just still kind of interesting to watch it track. Here's a 3-1. Grounded up the middle, off the glove of the pitcher towards the right side. Second baseman picks it up in no man's land, no play. Everybody's safe. It does hold a run or stop a run from scoring with Hobbs getting to that ball. That will, I believe, be a single. Yeah, single off the glove of the pitcher. Now Garrett Valish out of the dugout again to talk to his infield. If I had to guess, this might be a, let's talk about defense here, because the Aggies with runners at the corners again. I don't know if they'll try the first and third again, but it's, here's how you have to execute that play. Where are you going with it? Are you going to throw it through? Are you going to hit the cutoff? Whatever the case may be, to see if A&M tries to advance a runner on the stolen base. Again, A&M's goal is to get as quickly as they can to that 8-run point, even just here in the second inning. Try to minimize the number of innings you have to throw, especially with the series coming up this weekend. Still having a conversation here, talking with his defense. Now the meeting's over, so runners at the corners. AK to the plate, runners at the corners, 1 out, 6-0 Texas A&M. Corners in for Sam. First pitch is high for a ball. AK 2-run homer to right center field. Back in the first inning. That's a strike called. That one bounces in. Catcher knocked it in front of her and couldn't find the ball. And now Michaela Wark will take second base. And the count's now 2 balls and 1 strike. So a chance here for the Aggies with the deep outfield. The base hit would score 2. That's hit well to right. That's more than a base hit. That's back to the wall, and that is gone. And how about a 2-homer game for AK? Texas A&M. 4 homers in the game for the Aggies. Turned on that one and did not miss it. 234 feet to right center field. And for the Aggies, that matches a season high. They hit 4 in a win over Duke out in Palm Springs. So AK with 5 runs driven in this one. AK takes a pitch down for a ball. She walked in the first inning. That's a strike called on the outside corner. A&M smashing the ball. They are not missing any mistakes of this Bearcat pitching staff. That one's hit well, but foul left side. That'll carry into the Texas A&M bullpen. KK DeMent, and the count is 1-2. He's really one of the first hitters that Sam pitchers have even got ahead of in this ball game. One-two. Fouled off the end of the bat right side towards the Sam Houston bullpen. Texas A&M, 3 homers in the first, 1 here in the second. They are all over Sam. 9 runs home with just 1 out in the frame. Flares that one into right field, and a running catch in the gap by Hobbs, who was playing deep, came across the gap of the right center gap to make the play. She's shown some nice range out there. That's out number 2. First pitch, Kelsey Mathis is taken high for a ball. Kelsey lined out to Hobson, or to a Prohoda, excuse me, in right field back in the first inning. Prohoda, 2 nice catches there, showing a lot of range. Pitches outside, 2-0. and up just above the strike zone there. And the count's 3-0. Aggies came into today ranked very high in some offensive numbers around the country, as that's ball 4. Nothing to hurt that today. Aggies in the top 20 nationally in batting average, and several players sitting in the top 15 to 20 in some power offensive categories. And they are passing the bat in a big way today. They batted around on the first. This is the 8th batter of the second inning. Just here in the second, already facing their 17th batter of the game. Strike 1 to Paisley, who is 0 for 1 in the game. The fielder's choice on the infield back in the first. That one's inside. Paisley Allen, the Georgia transfer. Change up taken low. 2 balls and 1 strike. These have been pretty set with their defensive alignment and offensive lineup, I'd say, for a good 3 weeks now. Really since the loss to Louisiana back at the end of February. It's outside. 3-1. Found a good flow, a good rhythm. Chopped foul left side. Count's full, so Kelsey will be running on the play here. It's a payoff pitch. And that's a called strike 3 right above the belt. Paisley Allen goes down looking. And that'll end the Texas A&M second inning, but not before the Aggies add 4 more runs. We'll take a 9-0 lead into the third. Third inning here at Davis Diamond. Texas A&M leading Sam Houston 9-0. 9 runs, 6 hits for the Aggies. 4 of those hits have left the yard. Sam Houston, no runs on 3 hits. Couple of defensive changes for Texas A&M as we head to the top of the third inning. First base, Michaela Wark, the Aggie designated player, now moves to play defensively. We've seen her go back and forth with Maya Perez off and on through the season. And now behind the plate, Grayson Coleman, senior out of Hanford, is replacing Ariel Kowalewski back there. Probably we'll see some more as we start to work our way through. So Grayson getting action, her 12th game of the season. So we've got they're here. Is that Maddie back there? I thought that was Grayson. All right, look at that. Messed that up really good, isn't it? I blame the, yeah, it is Maddie. Okay, apologies, Maddie. I blame the overzealous backstrap where I can't read the numbers. 92 and 22. This is what happens when you get old. All right, just kidding. I think we'll probably see Grayson later anyway. So that is Maddie Sawney behind the plate. Apologies on that. Here's Kinsey Hobbs. First pitch is outside for a ball. This is her first at-bat of the game. Hobbs, a junior out of Lexington. On the year, .220 batting average with a homer and 8 runs driven in. Maddie Sawney behind the plate. 18th game of the year. Outside 2-0. Talked with Coach about Maddie before the game, and it was real interesting because if you watch Sunday's game, Maddie had a huge pinch hit, base hit, double to tie the game in that 7-run inning. And Maddie had been a somewhat regular starter. This is flared into center field, and that will drop for a base hit as Hobbs picks up her 14th hit of the season. Sawney had been starting most of the games behind the plate for the first month of the season, and then for just purely for defensive reasons, the Aggies moved Ariel behind the plate. And Sawney, as a freshman, really did a great job being such a great teammate. Tricia said she's such a selfless kid, such a team-first kid, and to see her have that success in that pinch hit role was pretty fantastic. First pitch is a strike to Sophia Lundstrom, who is 1 for 1 in the game. She singled through the right side in the first inning. Grounded right side through for a base hit. And Lundstrom is 2 for 2. That'll bring up Bella Perez, who had a hard single through the left side in the first inning. So 2 on, nobody out for the Bearcats here in the second. Pop foul on the left side for strike 1. Sam with 2 hits in the first, erasing most of that on a double play. In the second, they got a 1-out base hit, left the runner there, and they've started this inning with 2 base hits to begin. Trying to climb back into this one, outside. And the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Perez hitting .376 on the year. Told you they've got a big Conference USA series coming up this weekend. Middle Tennessee, that's lined foul left side towards the Aggie bullpen. Their road to 6-3 in Conference USA play. They opened up league play, did Sam at UTEP, winning the first 2, dropping the finale, but took the series. Then came home to host New Mexico State, lost the opener, but then rebounded to win the next 2. And then this past weekend, we're at Kennesaw State, who we saw in a tournament at the end of February. 1-2, outside, 2-2 to count. And they won the bookends with some real big numbers, 13-3 and 15-2, losing the middle one 7-5. It's outside, ball 3. Bearcats, I was talking with coaches before the game. They were unfortunately swept up in that, all the TSA news that you've heard all over the country. They were unable to catch their flight in Atlanta because of that. They had to spend the night at Hartsfield. Fly ball into left center field. Kelsey Mathis moving over from center to make the catch for out number 1. So they got back, I think, midday Monday from Atlanta when they were supposed to get back Sunday afternoon. 1 down. Here is Veronica Harrison. Grounded into a double play in the first inning. Harrison, 13 home runs already on the season. Here in game number 36, which is taken down. At 13, by the way, ties the school's single season home run record. She leads Conference USA, does Harrison in homers, and ranks 15th in the country. Popped up, foul, coming back towards us. Pitch high, gets back to the screen, went high over the head of the Aggies catcher. That's a wild pitch there. It'll move runners now to second and third. 2-1 to Harrison. Ground ball fair. Yep, fair. Inside the bag at third, down the line. And that wild pitch is going to cost her in a big way. 2-run single for Veronica Harrison, and Sam Houston on the board. Immediately called fair by Brian Crochet behind the plate. It sure looked fair here, just between Kennedy Powell and the third base bag. Too much of the plate on the inner half at the belt. You can see on the replay here. Yep, snuck that right inside the line. And Harrison drives in runs number 34 and 35 to lead this team. A look at Emma Raiketa running at first base, the freshman out of Franklin. Just up the road. So Sam Houston cashing in the singles there.
Next up to the plate is going to be catcher number 2, Peyton Helpley.
There's Helmley 0 for 1 in the game. So Sam on the board, 6 hits, as many as Texas A&M has in this game. Pitches outside for a ball. If you look at this team and the offense they put up, it's outside 2-0 to Helmley. Last few games, 15 runs, 5 runs, 13 runs, 4 runs, 3 runs, and then 13 there. They have put up a bunch of crooked numbers this season. That ball hit well to right field, right at Frankie Brajil, who backs up and makes the catch, fighting that hard sun angle out there. That ball was hit very well off the bat of Helmley. That's out number 2 now here in the third inning. As Keta has to go back to first base. Eric Balish calling his hitter Trisha Urotsky over to have a conversation. See if she can kind of continue this rally. Runner at first. 2 runs home for the Bearcats here in this third inning. Urotsky struck out on 3 pitches in the second. Batting average sitting at 274 as she stands in. Chop foul at the plate for strike 1. Sparks making her 8th appearance of the season. Fouled off left side. Most of her outings have been out of the bullpen. It's her 4th start. Seen her against Providence, Duke, Louisiana, and most recently against LSU. 2/3 of an inning in that one. Overthrows that one down on the zone. Just misses there. 1-2 the count to Urotsky. First 2 seasons at Ole Miss, transferring into Texas A&M last season. A flare into the glove of Talon Edwards. Dove into the hole to make the catch and rob Urotsky of a hit. That's a heck of a defensive play by the Gold Glover, Talon Edwards. That will end the Sam Houston third inning. Nice diving stop there by Talon. Bearcats get on the board with a pair of runs. 9-2 Texas A&M heading to the bottom of the third. Bottom of the third inning here at Davis Diamond. The Aggies leading at 9-2. Down the road at Bluebell Park, they are also playing a midweek. 3-0 Aggies over HCU, heading to the fifth inning. Frankie Brogel. And then the top of the order, KP and Talon due up on this one. 9 runs, 6 hits for the Aggies, 2 runs, 6 hits for Sam Houston. We'll get this rolling here. Frankie 0 for 1 in the game, reached on a fielder's choice. First pitch, tries to push a bunt on an off-speed pitch. It's outside for a ball. If you're just checking in with us, first inning, Texas A&M, 2-run homer, Talon Edwards, solo homer, Maya Perez, 2-run homer, Ariel Kowalewski, and then in the second inning, 3-run homer by AK. It's a strike called. Won the count. Chopped into the circle. Picked up there by Bubella. Throws him out, 1 down. Top of the order, here's KP. Hit by a pitch, stole a base, scored in the first, grounded out in the second. First pitch is a strike. KP. Batting average currently sitting at .426. Causes so much havoc when she gets on in an inning. This is outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. That one smoked up the middle, just to the left of the bag and into center field. Kennedy Powell now has her team-leading 44th hit of the season. Bring up Talon, 2-run homer in the first, and then walked and scored in the second. 9-2 Aggies here in the bottom of the third inning. It's bounced in for a ball. Bearcats kind of have the infield pinched a little bit, except at first. They've got Harrison has to worry about KP over there, but third base Uratsky is really almost towards the hole, and then you can see the shortstop Holiday close to the bag. There's a 1-0. It's outside. So they're conceding anything along the line, which really would be unlikely with a lefty at the plate unless you pitched her way outside and she actually waited on and hit it. So they're trying to take away that left side hole. It's a strike on the outside corner. 57 miles an hour there. Grounded hard through the right side for a base hit. Powell around second, on her way to third. Throw goes towards second base. KP dancing around a bit at third, and she'll stay there. So Talon with a base hit. That's the 8th of the game for the Aggies, her second. Runners at the corners now for Maya Perez. Perez 2 for 2 today. Long home run to center in the first, singled, and then pinch runner Ansley Gross ended up scoring on that. So the Aggies trying to get those 2 runs back in the top of this inning. She'll be officially re-entered back into the game. First time we've seen Brian Crochet this season. We usually see him quite a bit, but this is his first visit to Davis. See him around the SEC for sure. That one bounces in, gets away from the catcher and back to the screen. KP easily in to score. 10th run of the game for Texas A&M. That one bounced in. no chance at all there for Helmley. Skipped. Pass and the wild pitch for Bubella. Be her 4th of the season. Now a 1-0 count to Maya Perez with 1 out and a runner at second. They'll call time and step off, and the catcher will have a quick conversation. It's going to bring Lexi Smith out to talk with her pitcher. Lexi Smith, pitching coach for Sam Houston. Aggie fans would remember that name. Class of 2018. Lexi pitched for the Aggies for 2 seasons. JUCO transfer on the 2017 World Series team and then the 2018 Super Regional team. Sang the national anthem before the game today and killed it. The crowd loved it. Their 2nd season at Sam Houston under Garrett Valish as their pitching coach. Our group has a 3.7 ERA entering today. Again, 21-14 record on the season. All right, visit's over. That pitch is high. Might decide to put Maya on. As well, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and put her on the old first base. We've seen that a lot. Yep, outside, ball 4. For Maya, that will be walk number 29 of the year. Maya, 4th in the SEC, 7th in the country in walks. And a ton of those have come of late. 1st and 2nd now, 1 out for Michaela Wark. Has walked and singled and scored twice. There's a strike called. Maya Perez, man, in her last 10 games, she has been walked 16 times. 0-1 pitch bounces in. And that's one thing the coaches have talked with, really the whole team, but players like this, Michaela Wark and Daryl Kowalewski, et cetera, et cetera. And we just told them, hey, you guys are going to have to step up and make it happen. Change up taken, checked her swing. It's a ball, 2-1. You know, it's a two-way street. Maya's helping the team by getting on base, and then the other ones behind her have to make the teams pay for making that decision. They did that this weekend. Outside, 3-1. Chop foul. So full count here to Michaela Wark. Pitch has popped up into center field. It is carrying. It's back. It's at the wall. It's caught by Lundstrom right as she crashes into the wall. As Wark got under it and it just kept going and going and going. And a nice play by Lundstrom right at the fence to make the catch for out number 2. It will drive both runners into second and third there. Garrett Valish talking with the home plate umpire, Brian Crochet. Maddie Sowney, the catcher, waiting on to hit here. I don't know if this is a challenge thing here or whatnot there. What I wasn't watching was the runners and maybe if someone got in the way or not. Yeah, they're going to challenge something here. They can get a good look at what he was asking. Umpires are going to come over and have a chat.
The ruling on the field is that the runner at second base left on time for the tag up. Sam Houston is challenging this ruling. That play is under further review.
Third base umpire Marshall Niederhofer giving us the explanation there. Brian Crochet, Bubba Ewald will go in and take a look at this. Not in league play, so they're going to have to go back and take a look at that in the umpire room. So again, what he is asking, as you heard Marshall say there, was that I think that Talon Edwards left second before the ball was caught in center field. I didn't see, well, I guess they did throw to second trying to get the runner that was going from first to second. Take a look here. Yep, she sure did. She sure did. And she is off the base by a good foot. Great job by our 12-man productions crews, also the replay feed as well. They're showing it on the video board. She's a good foot off the base before there, so this should be a successful challenge, unless there's a rule that I'm not aware of there. You can see on the screen here, they're zooming in on the Hawkeye review system. Each team with 2 challenges. Umpires are taking a look at that, and again, we say this every time it happens. It's just cool that the league has now allowed the schools to show the fans what the umpires are looking at. If you're here in the stands, you see it. Obviously, if you're on TV, you're not seeing this, but they're showing exactly what the league is what the umpires, are looking at to the fans. You can see the cameras moving and the zooming out and all that other stuff. And so I think it's a really cool enhancement to the fan experience here. Yeah, she's off. This should be reversed. So if that's the case, that would, I believe, have to send, well, I think Maya might be able to advance to second. That would be my only question, is can she? Yeah, you can see right there on our view, if you're watching with us on the network, she's off the base. You have to wait until the ball leaves the hand of the pitcher before you can move. So they're taking a long look at this just to make sure they're right. I want to take away from the catch by Lundstrom. Nice job there in an unfamiliar ballpark to go in and make that play. And here come the umpires. I believe radioing to, they're radioing to Marshall to tell him what the call is. And I don't know if it's working, so they're going to come over and talk here. If this is successful, that means Sam will get to keep their challenge. My question would be, what do you do with the runner, Maya Perez, with a runner left early? I don't know that that necessarily affects Maya's position on the field. So we'll get the decision here from the umpires. And here's Marshall.
After review, the runner left early on time at second base on the tag up. However, the runner did leave early on the release of the pitch. The runner will be out at second base on the release of the pitch. We will revert back to the count of 3 balls and 1 strike on the batter. Sam Houston State will have 1 challenge remaining.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So you heard there. So the thing here is Sam Houston has a decision to make. They can either take the result of the play, which would be just the out at center, or because the runner left early on the pitch, she's out. And they can take that result, which means that they would move both runners back, or she's out, Talon's out, I'm sorry, but there's no catch in center field, if that makes sense. Gotcha. So you can, when there is a decision like this, you can take the result of the play, or you can take this challenge. And so what Garrett Valish is doing here, I believe, is that they are going to, and you heard him explain it, the runner did go back. I didn't see that part of it. I suspect maybe she went back and tagged when the ball was hit, but she left as the pitch was released, which means she left early. So now Garrett Valish talking to Brian Crochet here to our right. Okay. So, hey, great catch out in center field by Sophia Lundstrom, except it's going to be like it never happened. So 3-1 the count, 2 outs. And Mick drives that to left center field. That's hit pretty well, and that gets out of here. Line drive home run to left center field. And the Aggies will take that after the challenge and the overturn. Michaela hits a 2-run shot, 12-2. That's the 5th home run of the game for Texas A&M. Home run for Mick is her 13th of the year. RBIs number 44 and 45. So here is the catcher, Maddie Salney. And the freshman's hitting .282 on the year, 2 homers and 8 runs driven in. Told you about the pinch hit double to drive in 2 against Kentucky. Fouls that one off. Salney on the year had started 13 games. She had a big pinch hit, base hit coming off the bench cold at LSU on Monday night. And followed that with the 2-run double against Kentucky on Sunday. Changeup, cued foul. Hold with the count 0-2. Fifth home run of the game for Texas A&M. And bounces in. Rips that one into the glove of the shortstop, Holiday, who went up and got it. Line drive out by Maddie Salney, who drove that one. But Michaela Warks, line drive home run to left center, extends the lead. Aggies 12, Sam Houston 2, on to the 4th. Top of the 4th inning, 10-run lead for your Fighting Texas Aggies on their way to Austin this weekend against number 1 and defending national champion Texas. Thanks for tuning in with us here on a Tuesday evening, one of the Aggies' few midweeks. 3 defensive changes for Texas A&M. As a look at Taylor Pennell, the Aggie pitcher, the senior, 0-1 with a 7.33 earned run average, her 12th appearance of the season, 14 in the 3rd innings, 20 hits, 15 runs, 4 walks, and 14 strikeouts. So Taylor Pennell into the game for the Aggies. And the corner outfielders are new, as the Aggies have gone to the bench. In left field, It's going to be Haley Golden, the junior out of Pearland. She will get her 23rd appearance of the season. Let's look at Goldie. And then in right field, it's going to be the junior Scout Lovell out of Lovelady. This will be her 22nd appearance of the season. So Scout, Kelsey, and Haley from right to left in the outfield. Everything else in the infield has not changed except for Taylor Pennell in the circle. Sydney Prohoda, Kyla Heine, Morgan Holiday, 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Bearcats here in the fourth. And the first pitch is a strike. That came back and either got Maddie or, yeah, it did get Maddie. Brian Crochet let her walk that off a little bit. That was a strike called. Pennell, by the way, her last outing for Texas A&M came at Texas State. 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 1 strikeout. An inherited runner score in that one. Strike called on the changeup, swing and a miss. So she has not pitched in almost 3 weeks. So good to get her back out there. Foul back. Entered the year as the nation's active saves leader, 25 in her career at Missouri. Has 2 saves this year for the Aggies, Northwestern and UC San Diego. 1 in Clearwater, 1 in Palm Springs. Changeup fouled off into the Texas A&M bullpen. Another change up there, swung on and missed. Strike 3, Prohoda way out in front of that for out number 1. That is Taylor Pennell's pitch right there. That changeup is nasty when it's on out. Second strikeout of a Bearcat batter today. Kyla Heine at the plate, 0 for 1 in the game. That comes up and in. 63 miles an hour for a ball. Heine now sitting at 288 batting average on the season. 12-2 Aggies here in the fourth. Fouls that one back to the net. Bearcats, we told you, will host Middle Tennessee this weekend at the Bearcat Softball Complex, 6 o'clock Friday, 3 o'clock Saturday, 11 a.m. on Sunday. Easter weekend, they'll go to Bowling Green to play Western Kentucky. It's outside. And the rest of that Western Kentucky one's a big one because WKU is up near the top of those standings. They're going to host Missouri State. They'll go to Louisiana Tech, who we saw a couple weeks ago. They'll go to FIU. Change up, poke foul onto the net. And then they'll close Conference USA play with Jacksonville State, who's currently leading the league standings. Jack State, that'll be in Huntsville this year. University of Delaware is hosting the conference championship in the second weekend of May. Threw that one over the helmet of Heine. Back to the screen. The count is full, 3-2. Changeup popped up on the infield. Towards the circle, Kennedy Powell, the third baseman, will range behind the circle, make the catch for out number 2. Two quick outs here for Taylor Pennell. That'll bring up the shortstop, Morgan Holiday. Senior's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Swing and a miss. There's foul tip, actually, technically. 64 miles an hour for strike 1. He's in the bottom of the fourth. We'll have KK DeBent, Kelsey Mathis, and Haley Golden due up. Changeup swung on and missed. Strike 2. Oh, 2 pitch. Changeup just got a piece of that one to stay alive for Holiday. Just misses off the plate. 65 miles an hour for ball 1 and 2. Pennell, entire career at the University of Missouri. Last year here in Aggieland. 1-2 pitch. Bounces a changeup in. Back on the rubber. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Foul back to the net. Changeup just got a piece of that. Nice battle. Plate here, Holiday. Sun starting to finish off setting here to our left. Beautiful day at Davis. Actually, the temps dropped into the 70s, a little bit of breeze. It's a nice night for some softball. Had some hot games this weekend. That's a rip foul towards the Aggie bullpen. Holiday's now fouled off 4 2-strike pitches. Taylor ready, and another 2-2. Hitter. Ooh. And that hit on the elbow guard. It still doesn't feel great, as Holiday is plunked by the 2-2 pitch. She'll win that at-bat battle the hard way, but Ewald making sure she's good. She said she's fine. Yeah, it hit the elbow guard, but still rattled that funny bone pretty good there. Holiday hit for the first time this season. Pennell plunks her 7th batter of the year.
Next up, we have the Bearcats, second base number 1, Kinsey Hobbs.
Here's Kinsey Hobbs. Singled to begin the 3rd inning and came around to score on the 2-run single by Veronica Harrison, accounting for the only 2 Bearcat runs of the day so far. Lefty-lefty matchup, and the first pitch is a strike. And that'll bring Tricia Ford out of the dugout. She's never going to be too happy to come out of the dugout with a 2-out Noble ball. Now there's a runner at first, but this inning could have been over about 8 pitches ago, so she's coming in to have a quick conversation here with Taylor. Always coaching, always opportunities to coach, even in a 12-2 game. Take the moment there, because these are moments that you are going to have to carry into SEC games as well. All right, 0-1 the count. Kinsey Hobbs pitches a strike, runners going, and no throw. It's going to be a stolen base for Morgan Holiday, her 13th of the season to lead Sam Houston. Might have been a case there of Sam catching the Aggies napping. Nice job there by them. 0-2 pitch, changeup just got a piece of that and fouls it off. And again, yes, there's a 10-run lead here for Texas A&M, but in the sport of softball, we talk about this all the time. You've got the run rule, and so if Sam can get back under 8-run lead, they can continue to play past the 5th inning. Here in the 4th, 0-2. Changeup flared off the end of the bat, and Callan almost makes a leaping catch in right center field. It'll just tip off her glove and hit the grass, and in to score is Holiday, so they cash in the single. With the single, they cash in the stolen base. It's 12-3. So a 2-strike, 2-out hit by pitch, followed by a stolen base, followed by a bloop single, and Sam Houston pushes home run number 3. And for Hobbs, that is RBI number 9 of the season. Ball 1 to Lundstrom. Lundstrom today 2 for 2. Her average up to 425. There's a strike called. Stolen base should not really be that surprising. Sam, that was number 60 of the season for them. Big swing and a miss by Lundstrom. Counts 1 and 2. They're second in Conference USA in the top 20 in the country in stolen bases. That one got them a run. 1-2, way out of the zone there. Just fouled off there. Tell you what, Sam is just refusing to let Pennell shut the door on this inning. So credit to the Bearcats. Pennell cannot get that final out. He's had now 6 2-strike foul balls in this inning. This one popped up right side of the infield. That will end the inning as Michaela Wark comes in from first to make the catch for out number 3. But the Bearcats claw their way to a run here in the 4th. And a new score is A&M 12, Sam Houston 3, heading to the bottom of the 4th.
We answer the call.
To work when no one's watching.
To fight for every day.
To wear maroon and white with pride. Your support gives us the opportunity.
To train. To compete.
To chase championships.
And to live out our dreams.
You are our foundation.
And this
is our opportunity.
Thanks for hanging out with us here on a Tuesday night. Aggies 12-3 lead over the Bearcats of Sam Houston, only meeting this season between these two schools. Down the road at Bluebell Park, 25th ranked Aggies leading HCU 4-0. They are back home next Tuesday, Aggie baseball that is, against Sam Houston. Then they will host Vanderbilt Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That is next week, Easter weekend. Here's KK. 6, 7, and 8 in the Aggie lineup here. First pitch bounces in from Bella for ball 1. Bella in relief, 3 innings, 6 hits, 7 runs. Of the starter, Cassie Marshall, gave up 3 home runs, did not retire a batter in the first inning. Change up taken for a strike by KK DeMent, who's 0 for 1 in the game with a walk. It's a change up just off the plate. Counts 2 balls and 1 strike. Lined over the head of the third baseman and into the corner by KK DeMent. Rounding first and into second without a throw is the Aggie sophomore. Double for KK, her 8th of the season, leads off this 4th inning. In her half knee high, and she turned on it and smoked it at 76 miles an hour off the bat. That'll bring up Kelsey Mathis, who's 0 for 1 in the game with a walk. .327 hitter. She stands in, rips that one into center field. That's down for a base hit. Cut off in the gap by Lundstrom. That will score a run, and Kelsey Mathis stays hot. 13-3 Aggies. And for Mathis, that is her 14th RBI of the season. That'll bring up Haley Golden. 0 for 1 at the plate this season. First pitch taken down for a ball, 1-0. Golden, we see her quite often as a pinch runner, and every now and then defensively. Slaps it left side. Tough play for the shortstop. Long throw across. Not going to get her. There's a base hit. First of the season for Goldie. Third career hit for Haley Golden, who had 2 last year. There's another one. Let's see if we can get one. Here's Scout. Scout 0 for 5 at the plate. Changeup taken for a strike. Right-handed hitter out of Lovelady. For her first ever hit as an Aggie. That one's off the plate, 1 ball and 1 strike. I'll tell you what, if she gets one here, this dugout is going to explode. 0 for 5 this year, 0 for 5 last year, 0 for 1 as a freshman. Changeup floats in high, 2-1 the count. Runners at first and second for the Aggies here in the 4th, and a 13-3 lead. They'll need just 3 outs in the 5th to end this one early. 2-1. That's a strike call, 2-2. Had Scout on our radio show last week, talking about how she is from close to here, but committed to Arizona State and committed to play for Trisha Ford. And then Trisha Ford takes the job here, and here's Scout, much closer to home. 2-2, fouled off at the plate. Mathis at second. And Golden at first. 2-2. Bounces in, ball 3. Runners thought about it. Oop, they're caught between second and third. Long throw over to third, slide in. Safe as Kelsey Mathis just gets in around the tag, as Haley Golden had gone most of the way to second on that bounced in ball there. And that trapped Kelsey between second and third. The count is 3-2. Aggies lucky to get out of that. On the wild pitch. Payoff pitch, bounces in, ball 4. Scout draws a walk. That'll load him up for Kennedy Powell. AP is 1 for 2 in the game with 2 runs scored. First pitch is a strike called. 13-3 Aggies. KP has 1 of Texas A&M's 4 Grand Slams this season. A.K. Dement, Kennedy Powell, and 2 by Michaela Wark. Hers came, KP's did, against Duke in Clearwater. That's down. And ball 1 strike. And that's the problem she causes for defense, is the outfield very deep for Sam Houston right now, and the infield's in. She can do everything at the plate. 1-1, ripped foul right side. Because she can slap or bunt or hit for a little pop, it creates a ton of green in the outfield, because the outfielders have to respect that, but the infielders have to worry about the small game. 1-2 the count, nobody out, and the bases are loaded. down and out of the zone. Two, grounded right side through for a base hit. That's going to score 2. Throw comes home. KP takes second on the throw. 15-3 Aggies. 2-run single there for Kennedy Powell. Again, a mistake pitch there. Too much of the white. The Aggies have pushed quite a few ground balls through the right side of that infield between Harrison at first and Hobbs at second. The RBIs for KP are 18th and 19th of the season. That'll bring up Talon Edwards. She's been on base every time today. 2-run homer, walk, and a single. She has scored 2 runs. First pitch is a strike at the knees. 15, is that might be our season high, or might equal it. Let me look here. Runs. That's ripped right side, past the diving second baseman Hobbs and into right field. That'll score 1. Kennedy Powell's around. She will score. 2-run single for Talon Edwards. 17-3, Texas A&M. The Aggie offense is going to be feeling very good about themselves heading into McCombs Field on Friday night. New season high in runs scored. It was 15 against Tarleton. Now 17. Here's Maya. Been on base all 3 times as well. Homer, single, walk. That one hits her elbow. She'll head down to first. 47-mile-an-hour changeup plunked her on the elbow guard. And that will put runners at first and second. And we're going to have a pitching change here for the Sam Houston Bearcats. Go ahead and keep it here. New pitcher for Sam is going to be Mackenzie Jenkins, a senior out of Cypress with the Bridgeland High. Jenkins will be the pitcher. Jenkins on the season 1-1 with a 4.30 earned run average. 14th appearance of the year. 27 innings, 34 hits, 17 runs. Opponents hitting .296 against Mackenzie Jenkins. 17-3, Texas A&M. 5 runs home in this inning. So the new pitcher again will be Jenkins. She is going to get, looks like Larissa Perez, yeah. Yeah, Larissa Perez is going to come in and hit for Texas A&M, the sophomore out of San Antonio. Larissa started the Saturday game at LSU. There's Michaela Warwick, 0 for 6 on the year with an RBI. Also Piper White running out at first base for Talon Edwards, or at second base, apologies, second base. Piper, the freshman out of Alamo, Tennessee. She's making her 12th appearance of the season. There's Larissa. Seen Larissa get quite a bit of defensive replacement action there for the Aggies at first base. So she's getting some at-bats. Jeff Harger telling me in Baton Rouge that, you know, Larissa's done a great job in the cages and has earned her opportunities when they are available. So she'll step in to hit here first and second, nobody out, and 5 runs home here in the 4th. First pitch is outside at 60 miles an hour. That is Piper White at second, and Maya Perez is at first base. So Dee Baldwin's grabbed a bat. She is on deck. It's outside, 2-0. Big swing and and miss there. Challenged her just above the belt. Larissa just a little bit behind that one. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. That one's outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. 5 runs home in the inning. Double, single, single, walk, single, single. The last 2 singles each bringing in a pair of runs. That's inside, called a strike. Brian Crochet, like most of us, probably are looking to go home if he can. 3-2 the count. It's going to make the Aggies swing the bat here. Two, rips it, base hit to left field by Larissa Perez. And Larissa getting an ovation from her dugout. Her, yeah, first career hit for Larissa Perez. Congrats to her. That'll bring up Dee Baldwin. Sophomore from New Braunfels will hit. Bases juiced, nobody out. Dee on the year is 2 for 14 at the plate. It's a 143 average. 4 runs driven in and a run scored. Takes a big swing and a miss at the changeup for strike 1. That is outside. Yankees 17-3. Outside, 1-1. Most runs the Aggies have scored since last year's regional opener when they beat St. Francis 18-0. They got 15 hits in this game. That's a strike in the inner half. It counts 2-2. Aggie crowd is relentless. 17-3, and they're still getting on the ump. I love it. This is a season high in hits as well for the Aggies. DD grounds it to short. Second for 1. Throw to first in time for the double play. We'll bring a run home. Now 18-3 is our score. No RBI on that play for Dee Baldwin. Here's Grayson Coleman, pinch hitting for KK DeMint. 2 outs. Grayson, the senior, out of Hanford, California. 2 for 9 at the plate with a run driven in on the year. First pitch is down for a ball, 1-0. 10th batter to the plate in this inning. They have pushed 6 runs home. It's outside. Five home runs in the contest for Texas A&M. That is outside, 3-0. That's ball 4. 4-pitch walk to Grayson. And Kelsey Mathis back to the plate, second time in the inning. RBI single earlier in the frame. 1 for 2 officially on the night. Maya third, Grayson at first. First pitch is high. Kelsey since entering as a starter right after the Louisiana game is when the Aggies made the defensive switch, putting her back in center and then putting AK behind the plate and moving Frankie to right field. This has been red hot, hitting .435 with 8 walks over that stretch, thanks to our ESPN stats department for that number. 2-0, foul back. Aggies and the Texas Longhorns Friday night at Combs Field. One popped in the air to shallow right field. Long run for Prohoda. She will get there and make the catch for out number 3. So the Aggies push 6 runs across in the frame. We'll head to the top of the 5th. 18-3 Aggies over Sam Houston. Fifth inning, Aggies looking to invoke the run rule here. Taylor Purnell back in the circle, 18-3. Aggies over Sam Houston. Staring down the Cotton Holdings Lone Star Showdown. Friday night at 6, 15th ranked A&M, number 1 Texas will have the game for you here locally on Willie 1550. You can watch it on the ESPN app at SEC Network Plus. Saturday, 1 p.m. That's on ESPN2, and then Sunday at 1 p.m. That is on ESPN. Friend Amanda Scarborough will have all 3 of those games for you. Defensive changes for the Aggies. Starting at second base, Piper White, who came in to run in the last inning, will be out at second for Texas A&M. We've seen her a couple of times, 2 or 3 times defensively this year for the Aggies. Larissa Perez remains in the game at first base, and behind the plate, Dee Baldwin. First pitch is taken high, ball 1. Pinch hitter for Sam Houston, Lydia Noose, a junior out of Pearland, will hit. She has a 2-0 count to begin her at bat. Noose on the season is 2 for 10 at the plate with 2 runs scored and 2 runs driven in. Right-handed hitter. Change up, checked her swing, fouled it off towards her own dugout. Popped up behind first base, long run coming over for Scout Lovell. She'll make the catch in shallow right field for 1 out here in the 5th. Jared Balish back to his bench to get Avery Maurer, freshman out of Brenham. Maurer on the year is 0 for 9 at the plate with 6 runs scored. Lines that one to left field. Base hit. Maurer with her first career hit as a freshman. Another bench change here. Abby Papadimitriou, freshman out of Kingwood, will step in from the right side. First pitch misses for a ball. Papadimitriou is a 200 hitter on the year, has a double, a homer, and 4 runs driven in. 1-0. Huge foul left side. Aggies early and often in this one. 3 homers in the first inning to jump up 5-0. Remember, in that first inning, Sam had 2 on, nobody out. Gray Sparks getting a double play off the bat of their power hitter and then kept them off the scoreboard in that top half of that frame. Popped up foul territory right side. Larissa Perez ranging over, leaps up and makes the catch. Bouncing up against the camera well on the first base side. That's a heck of a play by the sophomore. Ranging over, thought she might have room, and again, you know your own ballpark, and she found a way to fight that ball and make sure she could make the play. Great effort there from Larissa Perez. And she had to jump up. If she hadn't, she would have, the ball would have hit the net. First pitch to Uratsky hits her, but Brian Crochet is telling her to stay there. As he said, she stuck her elbow out on that one. Count as 1 ball and no strikes to Uratsky. Swing and a miss there, 1-1. And you do not have to move out of the way if it's in the box, but what he's saying there is she stuck her elbow out of the box. And when you do that and make contact with the ball, it's either a ball if the ball was not over the plate, or a strike if it was. Fouled off. Counts 1-2, and now Sam down to their final strike. 1-2 the count with 2 outs. Change up, swung on and missed. That is the ball game. The Aggies pick up the victory 18-3 over Sam Houston on the strikeout by Taylor Pennell to put this one in the books. The Aggies improved to 23-9 on the year, and they'll go to Austin this weekend to face #1 Texas. The Bearcats fall to 21-15. They will host Middle Tennessee this weekend in Huntsville. Thanks for tuning in on the TV side. Thanks to our 12-man productions crew, as always, for all of their hard work. And on the radio side, our post-game show will continue after this. We'll head down to the dugout and visit with the Aggies following this one. Once again, the final score, Texas A&M 18, Sam Houston 3 in 5 innings.